Did you know Apex had walking dinosaurs that actually crushed players? Or how about when Rampart was able to use Sheila on top of Crypto's drone like an AC-130? So today, we're counting down 30 things Respawn removed from Apex Legends. 30. Naked spawn. It's actually kind of crazy thinking about this. Everyone used to drop into a match with absolutely nothing. No armor, no helmet, not even a syringe. So someone could get lucky and find a purple armor, and you'd just be, back to the lobby. Respawn eventually gave everyone basic white gear, including syringes, shield cells right off spawn, and honestly, I don't think anyone wants the old system back. 29. No red armor. Here's one your players might not even know. Red armor didn't always exist. For the longest time, gold armor was the highest shield you could find. Then evil shields arrived and let players upgrade their armor by dealing damage instead of just getting lucky with floor loot. Looking back, that completely changed how Apex was played. 28. 2-4 and 3x scopes were on SMGs. Okay, yeah, this one feels completely wrong. You could actually put a 2-4 or a 3x on an R99. Yeah, players were using close range weapons to beam people from distances they were never designed for. So Respawn eventually restricted optics based on weapon class, and this quietly disappeared. 27. Barrel stabilizers on SMGs. Speaking of SMGs, who remembers putting a purple barrel stab on an R9? Yeah, that thing barely moved. It sometimes felt more like an assault rifle than a close range weapon. Respawn eventually removed barrel stabs from SMGs and replaced them with laser sights, pushing the entire class back towards close range fights. 26. Precision choke. This one's easy to forget because now, it's just part of the gun. But back then, if you wanted a PK or triple take to tighten the spread while it's aiming, you had to find a precision choke first. Until you did, the weapon felt completely different. Respawn eventually built a choke directly into both guns, making the original hop-up obsolete. 25. Anvil receiver. I don't know about you, but every time I found one of these, I picked it up. The Anvil receiver turned the R301 or flatline into mini marksman rifles. A single shot fire dealt more damage, but each shot also consumed twice the ammo. Respawn brought this hop-up in and out of the pool several times, but for now, it's another piece of Apex history. 24. Fall stun cancel. This one wasn't even supposed to exist. Players discovered that if you melee right before you hit the ground, you could completely skip the heavy landing animation. It wasn't difficult once you learned the timing, and it made movement feel so much smoother. Respawn eventually patched it out, but somehow, I still see people trying to do it to this day. 23. The Valkyrie out of bounds exploit. Valkyrie used to be able to make out of bounds areas completely ridiculous. Teams could use her ultimate to reach places they were never supposed to stay, then sit above the map while everyone below them fought. Some squads even use these spots to heal, reload, and survive deep into ranked matches without taking real fights. Respawn eventually added stricter out-of-bound timers and restrictions, because hiding on top of the map probably wasn't the intended Valkyrie experience. 22. The Valkyrie hover bug. And that wasn't the only strange thing Valkyrie could do. For a while, players could trigger a bug that allowed her to hover in the air far longer than intended. Now, instead of briefly using your jetpack, Val could practically float around while preserving height and avoiding players below her. It looked ridiculous, and it definitely wasn't balanced, so Respawn eventually patched it, taking away Valkyrie's accidental creative mode. 21. Sheila on Crypto's drone. Yeah, this one might be the funniest bug Apex has ever had. Players discovered that Rampart could place Sheila on top of Crypto's drone, so Crypto would be able to fly around while Rampart controlled a mobile minigun in the sky. It was basically a makeshift AC-130. Completely broken, but absolutely hilarious to watch. Yeah, Respawn patched that one quickly, but not before players created some unbelievable clips with it. 20. Gibraltar's gun shield and caustic traps. Now here's another combo Respawn definitely did not plan for. Players could throw caustic trap on Gibby's gun shield and carry it around while he was aiming. So instead of leaving the trap on the floor, Gibby could walk around entire enemies with a gas barrel attached to his arm. It looked absurd, and created interactions that obviously were never intended. Respawn eventually removed the exploit, ending Gibraltar's brief career as a mobile caustic trap. 19. Walking Leviathans. Now if you played the original King's Canyon, you probably remember these things towering over the map. The Leviathans weren't always standing safely in the distance either. At one point, they actually walked through parts of King's Canyon. And if you happened to stand underneath one of their feet, you were instantly crushed. It made the map feel alive, even though getting stepped on wasn't exactly the most competitive way to lose a match. 18. Tridents. Now this wasn't that long ago, but remember when Olympus had Tridents? They weren't as strong as evac towers, but you could definitely rotate much faster than on foot. You could even attach abilities like Gibby's Dome or Rampart's walls to them. They were useful, chaotic, and sometimes completely ridiculous. But as Olympus and the meta changed, Tridents eventually disappeared from the map. 17. IMC Armories. Those destroyed buildings around Stormpoint weren't always empty. They used to be IMC Armories. Your squad could enter one, activate the encounter, and fight waves of bots inside. Survive the entire thing, and the armory rewarded your team with upgraded loot based on what you already had. The rewards were great, but people often spent more time fighting the robots than actual players. Respawn eventually destroyed the armories and removed the encounters completely. 16. Altar's 2 Ultimates. Altar's ultimate has gone through some pretty dramatic changes lately. For a period of time, she could create multiple void nexuses and give your team more than one escape point around the map. It sounded fun, but giving an entire squad several instant retreat options made fights extremely difficult to finish. Respawn eventually saw how strong this was and nerfed her, allowing her to just have one ultimate in the map. 15. Ash's double abilities. Now if you think Altar's strong, just wait until you hear about this one. So Ash could have 2 dashes at one point, and also 2 ultimates. Now let's just say she was probably one of the most broken legends in the game. She could instantly reposition, chase down enemies, or escape fights before you even had time to react. Now it didn't take long for Respawn to step in. Eventually, Ash was nerfed back to the ground. 14. Lifeline's Revive Shields. Now Lifeline's Revive has been reworked so many times it could probably have its own video. So originally, Lifeline had to revive teammates herself, but she created a large shield in front of her while she was doing it. Later, her Dock Drone could revive a teammate automatically while also protecting them with a shield. Both versions created some incredibly strong resets during fights. Respawn eventually removed the revive shield completely, although plenty of Lifeline mains still want it back. 13. Rev's Death Totem and Silence. Now before Revenant had his current abilities, he was a completely different legend back then. His tactical launched an orb that silenced enemy abilities, and his ultimate placed a Death Totem, giving your entire squad a second life to aggressively push another team. People even started pairing it with Octane's jump pad, creating the infamous Revtane combo. Squads would launch straight into your team with basically nothing to lose. It became one of the most frustrating metas Apex has ever seen. So Respawn eventually reworked Revenant's entire kit, removing both Silence and the Death Totem. 12. Heavy Ammo Wingman. Alright, who's old enough to remember this? The Wingman originally used to use heavy ammo, and honestly, that's part of what made it so scary. Because heavy ammo was everywhere. You'd win one fight, loot a death box, and probably have enough ammo for the rest of the match. That also left more backpack space for grenades and heals. Now Respawn tried balancing the Wingman for years, until Season 14, when they finally switched it to sniper ammo. Suddenly, every missed shot actually mattered. 11. The Digi Threat. Now if you find one of these, you almost never left it behind, because the digital threat highlighted enemies in bright red through smoke, gas, and almost any visual clutter. It was especially powerful with Bangalore because you could smoke an entire fight, and see everyone while they couldn't see you. That combination became too strong, so Respawn eventually removed the optic from normal BR loot. RIP to the Bang mains who love this. 10. Gold Armor with Fast Heal. Now this isn't the same gold armor new players remember. The original version had fast heals, shield batteries, med kits, even Phoenix kits. Almost everything finished in half the normal time. If someone wearing gold armor disappeared behind cover for just a few seconds, they could return to the fight completely reset. It felt incredible when you had it, and horrible when the enemy did. Respawn eventually removed Fast Heal and replaced it with a much less oppressive perk. 9. Gold Knockdown Self-Revives. Okay, I already know this one's gonna split the comments, but the Gold Knockdown Shield used to let players revive themselves. Sometimes it created legendary clutch moments, and other times, you'd wipe an entire squad, start looting, then hear somebody reviving behind you. It also created messy competitive endgames where several knocked players survived because of their shields. So Respawn eventually removed self-res completely. Now looking back, it was probably the right decision. 8. Wraith's Instant Phase. Dude, fighting Wraith back then was super annoying. You'd finally break her armor, and then she'd immediately disappear. There was no long animation and no delay. She'd press the button and she was gone. It made terrible positioning almost impossible to punish. So Respawn eventually added the startup animation we have today, giving enemies at least a small chance to finish the fight before Wraith escape. 7. The World's Edge Train. Man, I missed this one. When World's Edge launched, a fully moving train traveled around the entire map. It carried good loot, passed through several POIs, and almost always attracted multiple squads. You'd be fighting on top of the train while it moved through tunnels and stations, with players jumping on and off the entire time. It became one of the most beloved parts of World's Edge. Then Season 6 arrived, and the train was destroyed. 6. Promenade. Something that wasn't quite as beloved was Promenade on Broken Moon. It sat directly through the middle of the map, which meant almost every rotation eventually passed through it. You'd finish one fight, then another squad would appear, then another, and probably another after that. It became one of the easiest places in Apex to get endlessly third-party, so Respawn eventually destroyed Promenade and replaced their surrounding area with Quarantine Zone, which honestly was probably for the best. 5. The old charge rifle. Now, newer players have no idea how strange the original charge rifle actually was. Instead of firing a projectile, it shot an instant hit scan beam. So you could point directly at someone on the map, pull the trigger, and deal the damage without accounting for bullet travel. Early versions even used energy ammo before the weapon went through several changes. It was incredibly easy to use, extremely annoying to fight, and almost impossible to balance. So Respawn eventually rebuilt the weapon into the projectile-based charge rifle we have now. 4. Solos. For years, players begged Respawn to add solos, and for a limited time, they actually did. No teammates, no revives, just you against the entire lobby. Some players loved finally being able to depend entirely on themselves, but Apex was designed around team comps and legend abilities, so certain characters were much stronger than others. The original mode eventually disappeared, although different versions of solos have returned through events and experiments over the years. 3. Arenas. Arenas was supposed to become Apex's major second game mode. Two teams entered a small map, purchased weapons and abilities between rounds, then fought until one squad won the series. It had its own map, ranked mode, and had an entire community of dedicated players. But matchmaking problems, balance issues, and a declining player base slowly wore it down. Respawn eventually removed Arenas in Season 17, and even after later tests, it still hasn't truly returned. 2. No Masters rank. Believe it or not, the Masters rank didn't exist when Apex was first introduced. Once you made it through Diamond, the next and final rank was Apex Predator. That meant Predator included a much larger group of top players instead of being limited to a fixed leaderboard. Respawn eventually created the Master rank and reserved Predator for only the highest ranked players on each platform. The change completely reshaped Apex's ranked ladder and turned Apex Predator into the exclusive rank we recognize today. 1. Skulltown. And finally, there it was. This wasn't just another location on King's Canyon, it was the place everyone wanted to land. Sometimes half the lobby would drop here, and within the first few minutes, most of them would already be gone. The buildings were close together, the fights never stopped, and surviving Skulltown felt like winning a match before the match had even really begun. Then Respawn destroyed it. But the real reason Skulltown disappeared is much more complicated than most players realize, so I made an entire documentary explaining exactly what happened. So if you want to know why Respawn removed the most iconic place in Apex Legends, watch this video next. Take a breath, stay healthy, Sonyx out.